where I draw my inspiration, it's a little difficult for me because the most inspiring thing to me is the personality and the movement quality of the dancer who's in front of me. I do draw a lot of inspiration from visual art, from sculpture, from photography. So those things are sort of a seed, but I feel like I can't really start to do the real work until I see the people, see how they move, how they absorb my movement, what they could add to it. I would like to see you make it into a turn somehow. Everyone's body is very different. Everyone has very different things to offer. So then I will ask them sometimes to alter that phrase in ways that will be original to them, or I might ask them to construct an entirely new phrase. You know, we were working yesterday on the idea of origami and folding your body the way you would fold paper. And you know, there's a dancer in a certain position and I'll ask her, could you please fold your right elbow in some direction? So it's up to her what she does. And it might be, you know, her instinct might be perfect for me, or she might do something that's not quite right, but I can say that just gave me an idea for where it should go. Form is still interesting to me, and also I think there's something about the combination of a steel core and a velvet exterior, which is what I would say is a trademark of a great ballerina. I think that carries over very well into a great contemporary dancer. Veronica, you have to be naughtier. So like Whitney was saying the first day, just like, no, I didn't do anything. It wasn't me. Hands are particularly important to me in my work, and in the very beginning of my class, I used hands in all kinds of different ways, but there's one specific way that I like to start with in class, which is sort of an unfolding that starts with the wrist, and then it moves to the largest knuckle, the medium knuckle, and then down to the very smallest one, which is incredibly difficult to articulate, so you have this very clean kind of unfurling or unfolding. It's kind of, I like to think of it as like the tip of a fern unfurling. I started to think of my hands as being brushes, paint brushes used for calligraphy that would, where all the bristles would be very sort of close together and aligned and spreading ink very evenly. And then there are other hand shapes at different moments. Like yesterday we were working on picking the hand up off the floor and having the hand retain that flat shape as though it was sort of frozen there. And then there are other things that we do at different moments, gestures like this or like that we've given specific meaning to, but generally the work that we do with the hands is quite detailed and articulate. Yeah, so if you do that and you just hold it there and then what? Yeah, there you go. When I'm creating my original movement phrases, it's not a very scientific process at all. Sometimes I just turn on the music and I start improvising in front of a camera for 5 minutes or so, and then I go back and I watch it, and a few things might stand out to me, like a few little moments, and then I go and I use those moments as a starting point for another improv, and then I start to, you know, with the camera, construct it maybe like 8 seconds at a time. I create the movement first, and then the music comes after, and it has a lot to do with how dancers respond to certain types of music. The music is not my starting point usually, and if it is, then I find frequently it changes. So I will do my best before I start a new piece to come up with a playlist of possible music that I think might fit a certain theme. I've already chosen the music that I'm going to use. Only one of the pieces was on my original playlist, and another one I felt like I had listened to my original playlist too many times, so I just like rolled over to another one kind of randomly, and there was a moment of magic that happened with one of the dancers that this particular piece of music I had never paid much attention to before really struck something with her. A program note might illuminate and inform, but it shouldn't be necessary to be able to enjoy a piece, to be able to draw something out of it. So I'd like to think that someone could just come in, sit down, the curtain goes up, and they have the experience that they have.